Our painting here is by Petrus Christus, and it's titled A Goldsmith in His Shop, which is very descriptive because that's what we see. We see the details of an interior, we see curtains, we see shelves, we see all of the raw materials that a metal worker or a goldsmith would use, like these nuggets and gems, and we see the finished products, the rings, the brooches, and we see an exchange of money happening here, right, with this couple. So that's it, right? That's that painting. No, we're going to look at this painting and we're going to look at the iconography. Remember that word, iconography? We're going to look at the individual elements and we're going to figure out what exactly is going on here. This is it in its frame, which I really like to show you to give you a sense of space and size. It stands about 3 feet 3 inches tall and about two and a half, a little over 2.5 feet wide. So it's a fairly big piece, but not on the large scale, like, you know, to be seen by a lot of people at a far off distance. Instead, what we think this was a private painting for perhaps a smaller chapel. Okay, whose chapel? Is it that couple? That couple coming in the door, Miss Cortez? No. All right, let's take a look. We have here a young couple, and they're reaching out for what? Oh, a ring. Oh, he's just measured the quality and the worth of this ring. Is it a pawn shop? Oh no, are they down on their luck? No, they don't look like they're down on their luck. She's got this extremely elaborate headdress. He's got his chaperone, gold fur trim. She's got this gorgeous brocaded gown. What's this on the table? What? Oh, a red belt. Do you see that, students? A bride. A bride, when she is betrothed, is given a red belt. In Roger van der Weyden's Portrait of a Lady that I love so much, she is wearing the red belt of a betrothed woman. She doesn't have it on anymore. Why? That's right. It's because they just got married. So she's getting her ring, and the bridal or the betrothal girdle is what they would call it, has been taken off. Oh, the happy couple. So is this a painting for the happy couple? No. Let's go a little bit further and look at what's going on. Behind the goldsmith, we see lots of elements that we can define as iconography. Some of them have religious meaning and others don't. The crystal container here, this is commonly used to hold Eucharist wafers, the pieces of bread that are consumed during the Eucharist as a symbol of the body of Christ. Okay, that's a religious thing. And then he's holding in his hand scales. Scales are often used to symbolize the last judgment, when our souls will be weighed and the good will rise to heaven and the souls who have been heavy with sin will go to hell. So we have these religious elements, but there's other pieces here too, like those raw materials, the precious stones, the beads, the crystals, the coral, the pearls, and then they're right next to their finished products. Rings and buckles and brooches. You see those brooches up there? All right. What's up here? What are these? These are vessels that are made out of pewter, which is a type of metal, and these would have been given by town leaders to distinguished guests. So people of importance would be gifted these. Okay, so these aren't speaking to like marriage, husband, wife stuff. Instead, these are all speaking to the trade of being a goldsmith. All right, what else do we see? In the corner, we see a mirror. And then this convex mirror, we see the reflection of just outside the door frame. And we see the rest of the city, and we see two more people who look like they're waiting to come inside. We see another couple. His business is booming. We see more elements that speak to the trade of a goldsmith, a very capable, a very talented, a very prized goldsmith, rather than the couple. So when we look at all of these elements, what we can understand is that this is not a small altarpiece for this young, happy couple. Instead, what we believe is that this would have been installed in a chapel for the goldsmith guild. So the goldsmiths, a trade, would have a guild, an organization, and like many other tradesmen, other trades guilds, they would have meeting halls, and attached to the meeting halls would often be chapels to show their religious piety. And this, we believe, was painted by Petrus Christus, paid for by the goldsmith of the city of Bruges, and it was installed in their guild chapel. We have documentation showing that their meeting hall and chapel were built in 1449, the same year that this painting was painted. So we believe, we're pretty sure, that this was painted, paid for by the guilds, the Goldsmith Guild, to be put or installed in their chapel, because it speaks to all of the greatness of being a successful goldsmith in the city of Bruges in 1449.